It's a whole lot of us, that's my family. Wanna go higher, turn up the tempo, increase the BPM, okay. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM. Increase the BPM.
What's up, guys? This is Chris with U of L FCA. Welcome to our weekly podcast, In the Huddle, where we ask current or former athletes and coaches into this huddle, into this space, to talk about what God has done, what he's doing, and what he will continue to do. I'm super excited today. Got one of my guys here, Rasheed.
Yes, sir.
Rasheed from Central Florida.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you taking time to be here.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about growing up in Central Florida for Rasheed Miller.
Yeah, I'm from a city called Lake Wales, Florida. Not too crowded, not too small, just right. High, obviously. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so tell us about upbringing. Tell us about your family. Tell us, what was it like growing up in your household? Just people hear a lot about you, but they don't, they don't know you. So let's get a little peek behind the curtain.
Yes, sir. I have a big family. My growing up, my mom, she always made sure I was in church. She took us to church every Sunday. So I understood from a young age who the Lord is and the power of prayer. My mother taught me how to pray as well. So I grew up on faith.
So was sports, like obviously sports are a lot in your world now. Has that always been the case?
Yeah. From since I can remember, I've been playing football. I tried baseball for a little bit, maybe a year. But I played football and basketball from a little kid.
Football and basketball. So were you always like, obviously now you're 6'7"?
Yes, sir.
Were you always like the taller, bigger kid?
I was always bigger, taller than everybody else.
So you were always on the line and you were always center.
That's the thing. I actually wasn't always on the line. I played a little running back and linebacker growing up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was, I guess, recruiting, when did you know, like, okay, I have been given a special gift and a talent to play the game of football? When did you start to realize, like, okay, I can maybe go somewhere with this?
I just kept getting bigger, kept getting taller. At first when I first started playing sports, I thought I was going to be a basketball player, but I just kept getting bigger. I kept playing football, and I started off as a defensive lineman, and then one day I go to a camp, and I started playing O-line, and I got an offer that first day, and I was like, this might be where I need to be. So I just kept playing offensive line and just kept building, kept working on myself, and now I'm here where I'm at.
Okay, so recruiting, obviously, that's when you see everybody's bells and whistles, and you get to the dog and pony shows, and you're getting a chance to go a lot of different places. As I've said many times to recruits have been given a gift. They work really, really hard to develop that gift, but, man, you've been given God-sized attributes,
right,
that allows you to play this game. What was it like to go to different places and be recruited?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Football take you a lot of different places. My first time actually leaving the state of Florida was on a football visit. So that was a blessing. My family's first time being on the plane and everything like that. So being able to go around, see different college campuses and just see what they had to offer, it was definitely fun.
Okay, leaving high school, you started at what school?
Georgia Southern.
Georgia
out of high school,
Southern.
I went to Georgia Southern University.
Okay, so you started at Georgia Southern. And obviously now with transfer portal, you're able to move. Why did you choose the University of Louisville?
Right. It's an interesting story. Coach Owens, the offensive line here currently at Louisville, he was at Georgia Southern, and he's a great coach. He ended up leaving, transferring back here to where he went to school at, and he, seen enough in me to bring me along a year later when he got the job. So that's how it came about.
So when you come on campus at the University of Louisville, obviously it's a lot bigger, maybe smaller city than Atlanta, but the university itself is. How did you fit in immediately? What's some things that you started to kind of gravitate to? I mean, you're not a freshman anymore, but it's a new environment for you,
right?
So tell me what that looked like.
Yeah, it started off with the offensive line. I got in with those guys, and my good friend Mike Gonzalez, he told me about you and FCA, and that's where I also met Chris Bell and Maurice Turner, and those guys were going to FCA, and I went to FCA, and I just remember seeing how many just athletes were there in general, football, baseball, basketball, just everybody was in there. So that's how quickly I became just part of the team, and it just went from there.
So when and we'll talk about FCA here in a minute, but when you talked about your mom, just making sure that that God was the cornerstone and the a priority in your life. Tell me what does that look like growing up in a Christian home?
Yeah. My mom, she taught us how to pray. And it would just be certain things like, growing up when you're brought up in a household, it's a little different when you're kind of dependent on your parents' faith a little bit, like leaning on them to guide you and lead you. When I just go through different little things in high school growing up, she just say certain things, just encouraging me in a way that that the word would. And it wasn't until I got to college and just had my own experiences and my own struggles and that where I found the Lord for myself.
So FCA, tell me, why should an athlete or a student for that matter, why should they get involved with FCA?
It's just, you can learn a lot from each other. And it also just builds good routine. Having it on Monday nights is a good way to start the week off and just, have yourself grounded and just get in the word and get around other athletes, just have fellowship with other people for the week.
Yeah. When we talk about being a Christian athlete, what goes through your mind and what things need to happen for a person to be a Christian athlete?
I just say just realizing that what you do in that field is a reflection of what the Lord has done for you, through you, the positions that he put you in. Just giving the glory for him, just everything that you do, putting your best foot forward, knowing that it's for him and that through him you'll be able to do a lot of good things on that field, that court, whatever it is.
This Bible can be, like really intimidating for someone that just kind of picks it up and starts to look at it and where to start and what to do. What does a quiet time or spending time with the Lord look like for you?
Yeah, I might turn on soft music in the background, soft gospel music in the background. I just get in my room by myself, turn the light on, and I just try to read something not too big, but just so I can really just sit there and focus on it. But I might just start in a certain book, whatever I'm at the time, and just try to read a chapter, take my time with it, dissect it, and maybe see how what's being taught and what's being spoke about in that chapter applies to my life or that current situation I might be in.
So when we talk about like a quiet time, whether it's a section of scripture or a story, can you think of one in particular that you read and you looked at it and where this really applied to you, and maybe a story that you've always kind of just hung your hat on and like, man, this story, even though it's written in the Bible, this is my story. This is something that I can really relate to.
Right. I would say it's three I like. I like the story of David, Joshua, and the story of Job. Those three right there, because I've been one of those guys at like different parts of my life, and just having and reading those stories, they encouraged me in that moment.
Well, talk. You mentioned those three. Talk to me about just what stands out to you, each of them.
Right. The book of Job, I can remember how that relates to my football career. It was a time where everything felt like it was going good, and then I got hurt, and I was sidelined. I just was kind of confused and stuff like that. And I just read the book of Job, how he was tested and he kept his faith. He just continued just to know that the Lord has him and that he'd never leave him. And he just would continue to be faithful, continue to be diligent, and everything returned to him 10 times fold. So that was that story. And then the story of David is just like how David is just, I have a thing that I like to say called frontline in faith. It's just like David knew, like the giant, everybody was talking about the giant, but David was talking about God. So it's just like he was able to have his chest out and he believed that, no matter what size the enemy was, what size the obstacle may be, that the Lord was there with him. And the same thing with Joshua. My favorite verse, Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous, know that I am with you everywhere that you go. And that's just something I like to say, frontline in faith. I can walk around with my chest out, my head up, knowing that the Lord is with me.
That's so good, man. We talk about a testimony is what your life was before, what was the defining moment that that God got a hold of your life, and what has your life been like since? And you may have skipped over or skimmed over just a little bit of it, but what's a small, just a few minutes of a testimony of your life?
Yeah. Like I said, I grew up on faith. My parents took me to church. My mother took me to church. And then just fast forward to really college time when I got on my own. I can just remember when I was in high school and stuff, I used to pray, and I was just consistent. I was consistent when I got into college, and I just remember just kind of forgetting, honestly, just getting caught up in everything else. And it was just, like I said, when I got hurt, I took time to realize, I was like, man, I haven't prayed. I haven't been doing what I need to do in a while. And it just came back to me, and I started praying again, and I started just getting in my routine and just spending time with the Lord. and through my injury, that's when I found the Lord. Just knowing that, finding myself outside of my sport, just leaning on Him and just continue putting in His hands, and now I'm at where I'm at now.
It's so easy for people to find their identity in what they do. Whether it's football or whether it's FCA, or it could be even being a pastor. That you just find your identity in doing that. And if our identity is anything other than God, that can become an idol. And really takes the place of God. So how do you maintain trying to be the best on the field and excelling as a football player, but still keeping your priority like, hey God, I want to give this to you? How do you do that?
Because it's just the fact that I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at without the Lord. I could never love the gift more than the gift giver. So it's just that part for me, just knowing that man, like, if it weren't for the Lord, like, who's to say I could have what I have today, would be where I'm at? I'm just grateful for His plan, His grace that guide me and has me where I'm at. So it's just that being humble, and just continue to know that, man, like, this is God, this is not me, this is Him, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, the strength of a strong community. The Bible says that iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another, and just talks about the importance of having a Christian community around you. What does that look like within your team? Yeah, you got guys on your team that you go to battle with and you go to war with. But sometimes, not always, those are sometimes the same guys, spiritually speaking, that will hold you accountable, whether that's go to FCA or whether that's, hey, get into your word or going to Bible study or going to church. Who are some of those guys that spiritually hold you accountable?
Oh, yeah. It's the same group of guys we meet with on Wednesday. I say Nate Korinsky, Caleb Perry, some of my offensive linemen are in there, Trayvonte Sylvester, Lance Robertson. Just the group of guys I hang around that are also faith-driven. We just hold each other accountable. If there's any time where, like, we're doing certain things or just speaking a certain way that's not of the word, that's like that we're better than that. Just things like that. Just being around those guys, it makes me keep myself in check, because I always want to. I see those guys doing what they need to do, and I just make sure I want to do the same.
Yeah. So your senior season, obviously, you want to go out, blaze of glory, right, and go out on top. And so, when the amount of games you have left, that you can count on two hands, God willing, keep playing. How sobering is that to know that, man, that you're almost done with your college football career?
Man, it's a good feeling. Looking back, just seeing that, going into the person I entered college and the person I'm leaving college, I'm a different person, and I say that in a good way. Just what I've learned, what I've gone through, what I've accomplished. I feel like I can hang my hat knowing I put my best foot forward. So I'm pretty good right now.
Yeah. So I mean, are you the first person in your family to go to college, graduate college, or what? You got some other guys? I believe I
got a sibling that
awesome.
also went to college as well. But I think I'm the first one to do it on this level, play sports and
that's good. So obviously football is great, but you graduate when?
I already graduated.
You already graduated,
yes,
so you're getting your master's degree now?
Oh no, I'm just taking a couple classes right now.
Oh, getting some classes. Okay. What does life look like after college?
Right. Lord willingly, I want to make it to the NFL. But outside of that, I just want to be a leader of my community. Whether it's that's potentially coaching, just being a youth mentor, just continue just to spread my testimony, my experiences to the youth, and just show them a way, be an example for them, so they can get where I've been and beyond.
That's so good. Going back, obviously you're a mature upperclassman. What would you say to probably your 12 or 13, 14-year-old self if you could go back to Central Florida?
I would just say continue to be who you are. Like I said, growing up, I grew up in a faith home, and I just say, in a way, I just kind of like got from that, a little bit when I first got into school, just doing other things, just being busy with other stuff. But I just say, just continue to keep the main thing, just continue to lean on the Lord and just seek the Lord and just keep being you, keep being what you've been doing.
Yeah. Who would you say when you were growing up, and obviously sports, who were some people that you looked to that you're like, man, I like role models, like on the field and off the field, people that you kind of patterned your football game like, and maybe some people that you patterned your life like?
My dad is actually a good person I model. You know, he stands for a lot of the right things. You know, he's also faith driven as well. So, and I relate to him in a different way, like because he also plays sports as well, so he understands the struggles of sports, and he also combats it with the word as well. So I just say my dad, on and off the field.
On and off. I love that. Tell me about your siblings. Tell me about your family.
Oh yeah, I got I believe 6 sisters, 3 brothers, so it's a lot of fun.
Okay, nine siblings.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Now where do you fit in the order of that?
I'm the second to the youngest.
Second to the youngest. So not the baby, but good enough where you close
right
enough
there.
to feel it.
Yes,
to feel the effects of that.
Yes, sir.
Well, so tell me what you're studying, what your major and all that stuff.
Right. I just graduated in business administration. Like I said, right now I'm just taking a couple classes, playing football. So
You're coming off a high with Miami playing a good game. So obviously, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. Miami was a great game, but Miami's over. So how do you do what the Bible says, forgetting what is behind and pressing on towards what is ahead?
Oh yeah, just continue to know that there's more work to be done. Just continue just to take the small things, the small wins, the small improvements, and also just looking at the mistakes as well that was made from last game, and just continue to build on it. Stay level-headed, just knowing just as good as it is to be on the top of that mountain, you can also be in the valley as well. So just continue just to stay level-headed, stay in the fight. Yeah,
well, that's good, man. Well, I want to thank you, man. I love and appreciate you. Thanks for coming on this podcast and allowing us to get into your world and your space.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
I appreciate you.